Hey, everybody. I hope everybody can hear me. It is just me tonight. We are missing Amy. So jump in here. Let me know if you can hear me okay. All right. I'm waiting on somebody to let me know if you can hear me because I'm used to having somebody with me to kind of let me know that I'm being heard. All right. So drop a note in chat if you can hear me. Hey, Cindy. Okay, I turned up my phone and I guess my audio is working. So it is just going to be me tonight. Amy, if anybody has seen my personal page, knows that, there has been a death in her husband's family. So she's not going to be with me tonight. And I just want to keep that whole family in our prayers and good thoughts going up for them. So I was kind of torn on whether to go ahead and go live tonight or not. Past couple of weeks, it's been a little bit difficult. So you'll notice we've taken a break. Well, I decided to come back tonight and continue with William Hart. That is the romance scammer that we had been talking about for like the 4 weeks so far. And I think tonight's actually going to be the 5th week. And I'm just going to jump into it. Like I said, I don't have Amy here to help me. I would love to have somebody over here to help me with this, but that's okay. We'll get through it tonight and hopefully she will be back with us next week. Cindy, I definitely will. And Amy, if you're watching this, I put it up on the screen for you. So, anyway, let me go ahead and get started with the romance scammer, William Hart. Now, I don't know how much of this I'm going to be able to see without going full screen, but if I go full screen, then I'm not going to be able to see the chat. So I'm going to just try. I took myself off of the camera, so you shouldn't be seeing me right now. You're just seeing this, and that way you won't see me squinting to read. So the romance scammer, William Hart, and I believe where we left off the last time, he was asking for money. I know that. So let's just jump over here. Let me refresh your memory a little bit. This is the picture of the romance scammer William Hart, which he stole from someone on the internet to pass off as his own. The person in this picture is not the scammer that we know of. Instead, the scammer took this man's picture to use to convince victims that this is who he really is when it's really not. The man in this picture is the victim of the scammer, as his personal photos are being used and to be associated with the scam. And Amy says she will be back with us next week, and we are ready for that. So, condolences. Amy, Cindy sent you condolences. So, if you can pass that on to Anthony and his family. All right. So, let's just get into it. The blue is from him. The pink are my messages. So he says, I'm going to pay back the money double, Sophia. That's why I need the $200 to prepare the documents and some other stuff to see if someone can loan me the money out there, Sophia, because I don't want to bother you about it, Sophia. If you are playing the shot game and you are drinking double shots for every time he says the name Sophia, and for those that may not be aware, Sophia is a name that I used. He knew me as Sophia Muggins for this particular scam bait. So if you are taking double shots, you will see there is 2, 4, 6 shots that you can go ahead and take. Let's just remember though that you will, he says my name a lot, so you will probably be highly intoxicated if you play this game. And please don't play this game. I'm just kind of putting that out there. So I said to him as myself, well, as Sophia, you didn't mention anything about 5,000. I thought it was just a needed card. Oh, wait, I can't see. Oh. He says, I told you that I'm supposed to be home by Friday. So some of the red flags that we see in this is scammers will change the amount of money they need. In the last messages, he actually switched it from just needing a gift card, just needing 200 to needing $5,000, because remember in the last one, he thought that I was talking to another person, quote, scammer, named Mark, I believe. Was it Mark or Scott? I can't remember. Both of those scammers actually, those names actually came into play in this. So he says, I'm supposed to be home by Friday. Anyway, money is always needed either for an emergency, internet, or in this case, to prepare documents and complete his contract agreement. In the case of Anthony Scott Thompson, the scammer that, got the relative of ours, he needed money for numerous things. A lot of times it was for the internet, and other times it was for his daughter's birthday party, or it was for a vacation certificate to get him home. Remember, he was in the military. There's a lot of reasons that a scammer will tell you they need the money. You have to stop in the middle of these scams, though. When these conversations are starting out, remember, William Hart, says that he is an engineer working on an oil rig. Do you think that they would not have the money? And I've never heard of being able to buy out of your contract, but there's just a need. They will always come up with a need. And if you listen to that little voice in your head, you will know that it doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. So let's go ahead and continue. And I told him, I said, but you see, William, you aren't a veteran. Billy, which was my quote unquote deceased husband, loved the veterans. And I said, yeah, but why do you have to pay them to quit your job? That makes no sense. And William Hart, the scammer, says, but I still have some materials to buy, Sophia. I thought the remaining materials would be okay, only to find out the materials, look at the spelling, will not be enough to finish the contract, Sophia. And I said, you have to buy your own materials? Wait, I thought you mainly just did paperwork. Remember, he tells me that he does paperwork. And I said, and I thought you couldn't buy stuff. And I think that says, oh, hang on. It's underneath my little control. Buy stuff unless you went to town. So the red flags here are typos, 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 and more typos. Look at the spelling. Look at how, someone that you're communicating with online, look at not only their typos, but their grammar, the wording of things. They will often word things in ways that we don't. It's really broken English in a lot of cases. And I said, remember details of the story they tell you. As they begin to ask for money, you will see just how many of those details change. The story grows. And I don't know if you're following the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. If you'll notice, when Amber Heard has been on the stand, her stories are changing. She's adding more details. She's taking details away. Usually she's adding more details. That's the same thing a scammer will do in their scam. They're constantly having to change their script. Now, remember, we've talked about scammers use a script. Have you been on Facebook or Instagram or wherever and gotten messaged? And those messages will be pretty much the same thing, and you know what's coming next. They start out, hey, how are you doing today? And depending on the scam, I get all different kinds of scams. They're not all romance scams. Some of them are what I call the blessing scam or the grant scams. But they all start out, I hope, most of those will start out, I hope you and your family are doing well through this pandemic, things like that. But if you'll notice, you get to where you can easily spot a scammer because it's constantly the same thing. The way they start out, the way, they want to ask you all of these questions about yourself. Usually it's, are you married? Do you have kids? Do you live alone? What do you do for a living? You're beautiful. There'll be a lot of calling you dear, honey, sweetie, those terms of endearment. And so, you will be able to spot that these are scams because they go with a script. Well, as these obstacles present themselves to the scammers, you're telling them something, or you're not able to send the money this way. You can't send the gift card. You're not going to do a gift card. You're refusing to go to Google Hangouts or chat. You don't have a WhatsApp. They're having to make small changes. But when they get to asking for the money, they will all of a sudden, their story will alter. Now, if you'll remember, with William, I knew automatically what one of the things would be, and that would be money for internet, because that's one of the things that these romance scammers really try to get, early on is, oh, I'm not going to have internet to talk to my fictional child. They don't tell you it's a fictional child, but it's a fictional child that's living somewhere in the States while they're working overseas. And they have to have the internet to be able to communicate with them. And of course, to communicate with their victim, because remember, this is a romance scam. They're falling in love with their victim. Quote, love. But with William, I actually beat him to that punch. And I said, oh, you're working on a ship. How do you have internet out there? And he tells me, oh, it's great internet, So I was automatically able to say, oh, that's great that you've got free internet. And then throughout the thing, he tells me, he said, oh, yeah, I've got free internet. Well, he had to alter that whenever he was asking me for that first gift card, because he then said, well, the internet is not secure enough and I don't like using it. And that is often a common tactic. And these people will actually take and alter why they're asking for the money or any of that, because they have to. If they want to get the money, because they know what they're prepared to say all of the time, but they don't know what their victims are going to say. And you're going to see that throughout the rest of this one, plus future romance scams that I will do and bring to y'all. So Um, anyway, let's move on to this one. He says, yeah. I said, now I'm confused. And he said, we got a agent who will buy the materials from. Try and understand me. He will send it across to me over here, Sophia. And I said, I'm not making any kind of monetary investment in anyone until I get to see some faces. I want people to look me in the eye and tell me what they need. I can tell who is being honest with me. Mark is going to call me tonight and talk to me on video chat. If you remember, Mark is the other person that I was also talking to, wasn't really talking to him, um, about, um, I wanted to plant that seed of doubt and I wanted to speed this scam along. And the easiest way to do that is to introduce another scammer, even though I wasn't really talking to anybody else. But the scammer William Hart thought I was. So that made him even more greedy. And he used jealousy and everything else to try to get um, the money that he thought I was sending to the other scammer. So, that's a scam bait. This is just the way I chose to do. And of course, if you'll notice, I put a little fish over here in a net because all I'm doing on this slide is fishing, but there are some red flags on this slide. And the first one is if you'll look at the way it's worded, we got a agent who will buy the materials, and look at the spelling of materials from. Try and understand me. He will send it across to me over here. Look at the wording. Look at this. Just read something and say, does this sound like it's coming from whatever person this is you're talking to? In this case, this is supposed to be an engineer. I think an engineer would be able to spell the word materials. I mean, an engineer does not just become an engineer, they have to study. That is higher education, that is a college education. So look at the typos, read the way things are written, and just always question. That's one of the biggest things with these scams, is always question everything with them. All right. So he says, I'm telling you nothing but the truth, Sophia. This is emergency, Sophia. Is not my fault. And I said, be back. I have to pay and head to the bank. At this point, I was at the salon, I think. I wasn't really at the salon, but he thought I was. He says, you just try and understand me, please. If you can just help me with it, Sophia, I'm coming home on Monday. Well, a while ago, he said he was coming home on Friday. But again, the story's changed. And I just can't wait to see you and feel your body. I'm going to pay you double, please, Sophia. Let me send you the agent Deltas, supposed to be details, so you can send him the money yourself, so he can supply me the materials, Sophia. Don't you want me to be home? Think about it, Sophia, please. Red flags, typos, typos, and more typos. Again, the money is always needed for an emergency, quote unquote, and the scammer will always remind you of that. They will also stress urgency. They will also never take responsibility and will go as far as to tell you that it isn't their fault. In this case, that's exactly what he did. It's not his fault that he ran short on materials. and that's the way that they get you. They prey on the emotions. If you think they're going to get in trouble, if you think that it's a matter of life and death, if a victim feels that, then there's more of a chance that that victim will give them what they're asking for. The scammer will usually tell you they will pay you back. Trust me, a scammer will not pay you back. Ever. Ever. And this is the part where the introduction of the receiver or the money mule begins. And you are going to see a money mule tonight. You're not actually going to see the person. You're not going to see all of the information, but you're going to see the format of it. And we will go over what a money mule is in just a minute. But if you see where he says, let me send you the agent details so you can send him the money yourself. Typically, what they will do is they will send bank account information so that you can do a money transfer or a wire transfer, or they will send you the name and address of what is referred to as a money mule or a receiver that lives here in the United States. And sometimes that receiver or money mule knows what they're doing, knows that they're helping to launder this money, and they will take and deposit money into their bank account and do a wire transfer overseas. Or they will help provide bank account information so money can be wired into their account. Then they will wire it overseas. Or sometimes the money mule or a receiver is a victim that has been scammed by the scammer at some point and then is now being used as the money mule to help them continue to launder their money. And they don't know that that's what they're doing. They are a victim themselves because they're told a package is going to come. It's supposed to be for that person because it comes in their name. Oh, but we will either open it together, or that was accidentally sent to you. I'm going to have somebody pick it up. So, and that would be another money mule, or that is above the victim money mule, if that makes sense. So and you're going to see the introduction of that money mule here in just a minute. In the case of Anthony Scott Thompson, a money mule was used, and that money mule actually received cash money that was packaged in a box and sent to them. I don't know if that money mule was a victim. I don't know if that money mule knew what was going on. In that case, it was reported to law enforcement. Of course, it was after the fact, and I don't know if law enforcement did anything with that information. So I don't, like I said, I don't know if that was a victim or not. So he goes on to say, wow, I told you I needed to pay. The woman at the register kept looking at me every time my phone went off. I told her a little about you. She told me to be careful because scammers tried to prey on women of my age. I almost lost it. How dare her refer to me that way? Sophia is, I don't know how, I can't remember if I even told him how old I was in this. Usually I make her anywhere between 65 and 70, just kind of depending on what I'm feeling when I do the scam. So now I'm about to drive, so I can't text. And he says, okay, I'm 100% real. They, D-E-Y, meaning they, are telling you about Mark, not me. Scammer don't apologize when they, D-E-Y, are wrong. I did not go to a salon. I was not paying, and I did not tell anyone that I was talking to William Hart, the romance scammer, online. This is part of the scam bait. And it says, I said, okay, made it to the bank. I ended up getting the pink nails, by the way. And he said, wow, that's great. Scammers will always deny they are scammers. In this case, he pointed out that he was 100% real and threw the other scammer, Mark, under the bus. He is all too happy to tell a victim that the other person they are talking to is a scammer. There is no loyalty between these scammers. What they want is the payday. If he thinks I'm talking to a scammer by the name of Mark and I'm actually believing what this other scammer is saying, and I am sending him money, then he is going to do everything in his power to make me not send him money. So, and to send it to him instead. And so that is what he's doing here. He's pointing out he is not the scammer. Remember, he's 100% real. The true scammer is Mark. And so he wants what Mark is supposed to be getting, and that's the money. All right. I said, now I need to run into the bank to get the cashier's check for my car. Be back in a few. He thinks I'm buying a new car because I made him think I was buying a new car. And it was not just any new car. It was I think a Mercedes Benz, like $100 and some $1,000 car. I wanted him to think I had money. He says, okay, I can send you the details of the agent so you can send him the $5,000 for the materials, Sophia, please. I will pay back first thing Monday morning when I'm in town, please. Just loan me, please. I will pay back. Please let me just send it over, please. Help me, please, Sophia. Let me send it over. Your red flags in this, lots and lots of begging. If you'll notice, he was really begging for that money, really begging for it. And then there's also that sense of urgency. Let me send it over now, please. He thinks I'm going to the bank. He wants me to get him money right then while I'm at the bank. He does not want me to have time to think about it. He wants me to act on impulse. And I'm going to tell you, this scammer is not very good. He really is not very good at what he does. But, you know, there are people that would believe it and that will fall for it. So I like my green and yellow fish over here. I said, I don't have time today to deal with anything else. I'm having to wait at the bank, which is going to make me late. You can send the info and I will think about it. I told you, though, I want to talk to people face to face before I invest my husband's hard-earned money into anything. And he says, don't worry, I'm coming home on Monday, sweetie. Now the people here at the bank are looking at me funny because my notifications keep going off. I need to go to the phone store and get a new phone. The volume button stopped working on this one. Again, just baiting. That's the reason I put a little fish over here. I want him to think that I have money. I'm at the bank to get the money for my car I'm paying cash for. And now, you know, because he's blowing up my phone message and people at the bank, they don't want you to talk to them while you're in the bank. If a scammer tells you, you know, to go get a gift card or to go to the bank, they will tell you, I'm going to stay on the phone with you. Don't hang up. Don't hang up. Now, these are the ones that call or that you're on the phone with when you're dealing with the scam. Don't call, or I will be on the phone with you, but don't talk to me when you're in the store. Don't talk to me while you're in the bank. There is a reason, because if you're talking to them and someone overhears that conversation in the store, and you know, places that sell gift cards have put limits on gift cards because they know there's scams that are happening involving gift cards. And so you walk into the store and you say, I want to buy two $500 gift cards. They're going to question you. And if you're on the phone with a scammer, talking to the scammer, discussing how to send that to them, this, that, and the other, the employees are going to overhear it, and they're going to point out that it's a scam. So a victim may not realize it's a scam, but somebody that's working in a store or overhears that conversation likely will, and they will talk you out of it. That is the reason a scammer will push for you not to be on the phone or with them, or not to talk to them. They want to hear what you're doing. They want to make sure you're going to get the money or you're going to get the gift cards, but they don't want you to interact with them until you get out of the store back into your car. So again, just kind of baiting on this one. That's what the little fishy's for. And he says, I promise you that with my late parents' grave. Okay, I'm really sorry. I promise to pay double, sweetie, please. I said, you want me to make for you? You want me to make contact with them for you? He is kind of, she's out there a little bit. She uses a spirit board to contact and communicate with her deceased husband, Billy. And he said, there's no need to think about this, sweetie, please. I like thinking about it. Talking to those who have passed makes me feel good. What are their names? And I will see if I can make contact. Just baiting. That's all I'm doing. Red flags, though. Scammers will often push you for you to make an immediate decision. Remember, they don't want you to think about it. The longer you think about it, the bigger the chance that you're going to realize that it's a scam and they're not going to get any money. They do not want you to think about it at all, because by thinking about it, there's a chance the victim will realize that it is indeed a scam. And oh, shoot, hang on. Let me get past that. All right, I can't show that slide. I had blocked that out, but for some reason it is still there. But that was the slide with the money mule information. Hang on just a minute. Okay, this one I will be able to do. I don't know why. Wait a minute. What am I don't know why I ended up so far back. Hang on just a minute, everybody. Hang on. I don't know why some of these are doubled up. Okay. I asked him on that previous slide that I'm not going to let sit there very long. What is that? And it was actually money mule details, and it was a bank account information. And I am probably going to have to take this live down and edit it, because I do not want that information out there. And I had it blocked out, but I don't know if I picked up the wrong copy of it or what. So anyway, that was the one that he wanted me to do a wire transfer to. And I gave him a reason why I wasn't going to do that. First of all, I said, what is that? He said, so I can get the materials by tomorrow morning, sweetie. That is the payment details, sweetie. Excuse me. And I said, when I sent the money to John a few years back, he had me send it FedEx. Don't ask me who John is. I just used that name because actually what I wanted to see is if he would send me another one that would accept the cash delivery shipped to him. He said, okay, let me see if he can't receive through FedEx so I can send you the FedEx address, sweetie. And I said, what him? That's a woman's name, because it was a woman's name in the bank account information he sent. He said, it's a husband and wife company, sweetie. They both run the company together, sweetie. He said, or I said, they just called me to get my check, be back. He said, okay, let me send the FedEx address, sweetie. I said, okay, got my check. Again, just kind of baiting here, waiting to see if he's going to send that address. He said, okay, sweetie, but you can do transfer to the bank details I send you, sweetie. You can do it right there, sweetie. I said, send me the address. I don't do transfers into someone's account I don't know. He said, okay. So I'm on my way to the car lot now. He said, okay, please try and send it to the address today. The red flags: when scammers are actively trying to get money, they begin with the love talk and the sweet names. This is not the normal for your conversation with them, as other times they can be ugly and vile and abusive. But they will really start love bombing you. I said again, there is a sense of urgency. Um, and they definitely don't want you to take time to think about something, but instead they want you to react in that moment. All right, so here comes this next money mule. I said, I got $15,000 in cash. I got $10,000 for Mark in case I decide to send it, and $5,000 for you in case I decide to send it. I said, where the heck do I send it if I decide to? I still have to pick up my car and meeting my friends for a late lunch, early dinner. I want to see what info she can get on both you and Mark. Plus, I want to see how Billy is really doing. Remember, I am meeting my friend who is a psychic for lunch, early dinner. And here is where he sends me, and I have blacked out on this. The address, you'll see the first name. There is a last name. You'll see parts of the address, the city, the state. And he said, that is the address you're sending the money to, sweetie. If you'll notice, this name is different from the other name. And I said, okay, just be excited for me. I'm on my way to get my car right now. He said, wow, that's great. Have you seen the address, sweetie? I said, a little more excitement, please. We're talking about me now, not you. He said, okay, I'm really happy for you, honey. Thank you. And I said, I'm so ready to be rid of this old car. And if you'll see this ASAP, awesome, congrats. Those are actually the gifts that he actually sent in the chat in celebration of my new car purchase, which I didn't buy a car. And I said, what do you want ASAP? Remember, one of those was ASAP. He said, you're going to get your car ASAP, sweetie. I said, oh, okay. Thought you were telling me to send that money ASAP. Thought we had already covered the fact that I don't like people demanding that I do stuff. He said, okay. I said, please don't forget to send the money to the agent. Or he said, please don't forget to send the money to the agent, honey. Take good care of yourself for me, honey. Scammers want their payday and will remind you over and over to send the money. All right, so let me go back in here. And I said to him, I just told you that this time is about me right now. Keep pushing, and I will stop by the Gucci store and spend the $5,000 on a new purse. Billy loved it when I bought things for myself at the Gucci store. He said, take it easy with the new car, honey. Please don't hurt yourself with the new car, honey. Honey, please don't do that. You know that money is important to me, honey. I'm really happy for you, honey. I said, who's Carla? That's not the same name you gave me before. Remember, the first name of the first money mule was different than the second one. He said, yeah, that's the name of the agent sent to me, sweetie. I said, you gave me a different name for the transfer, though. He said you can send the money to that details. I said, so who is Carla? Since you want to send FedEx, I like to know who I'm sending Billy's hard-earned money to, though. Red flags, they will always explain that the receiver or money mule is in some capacity an agent acting on their behalf or the company's behalf. You know this is a big company, Sophia, and they have branch all over. I said, then there would be a company name in the address. He said, I told them that you're sending to FedEx. That's why they send me that address, sweetie. I said, everything I have ever sent to a business has a business name on it. He said, that's the way they send me to forward it to you, Sophia. Just fishing, but they spelled DEY. Moving on. Just send it to the agent so I can get the materials as soon as possible, sweetie. You get the car, sweetie. I said, I'm busy with the car now, but I still want to know exactly who this person is. Something doesn't feel right. That is the name of their staff, sweetie. Look at the typos. Look at he did learn to spell materials anyway in this one. He's referring, constantly, sweetie, sweetie, sweetie. And I said, why wouldn't it be their names? Hang on, they're calling me to sign my papers. He said, okay, sweetie, that is the name of their work, sweetie. And again, here we go. I sent it back to him and I said, that's the name of their business, because this was a woman's first name and last name. It was not a business name. He said, that is the name of staff working with them, sweetie. I said, but what is the name of the business? The red flags in this is if you ask scammers questions about their receivers, they will be vague with their answers. The money mule plays a crucial role for the scammers. What the money mules do, even if they do not know they are doing it, is illegal. It's money laundering. That is what they're helping these people to do. And like I said, a lot of money mules do not know that they're doing that. And he said, Santrice Company, Sophia. Google Santrice Company and see where it tells you it is. Look at the area that it is. If you will look, you will see. These are the states. It's in the states of Nigeria. Sometimes they will give it up. I mean, they don't know they are. They don't know that I'm going to take the time to Google Santrice Company. Yes, there is one in the United States, but this is the first one that popped up was within Nigeria. I said, got my car headed to lunch. He said, wow, that's awesome. Take good care of yourself, sweetie. I said, I am. We are about to go in and eat. He said, I wish I'm there to join you guys, sweetie. I said, she likes to try new places. We're having African food today. Never had it before. Don't even know what is good. Again, I'm baiting because he's already, even though I knew where this romance scammer was from, because with my experience, the majority of the romance scammers that I have encountered are out of Nigeria. He said, I would be the happiest man on earth. Oh, I see. I said, we had Korean last month. He said, well, I'll be coming home by Monday. Oh, I see. I said, have you ever had African food before? If so, can you recommend something good? I'm scared of new foods. He said, you guys are really having great fun. No, I haven't, sweetie. Again, I'm fishing. I said, we always do. Oh, well, just hope the menu has descriptions. Be back in a bit. I'm excited to get to hear more about my Billy today. He said, oh, that's good. I always want you to be happy. I said, yeah, I'm going to see if she sees anything about you and Mark too. He said, oh, I see. I come back to him and I said, this was later on. We had a nice lunch. The food was really good. You should try African cuisine sometime. It was the best. Going home now. That's great, sweetie, he said. Drive safely, sweetie. The next day, hello, sweetie. I said, hello. It has not been a good afternoon. And I'm going to continue it next week because really next week I should be able to finish with him. Hang on just a minute. And wrap this one up. Oh, well, thank you, Cindy. I've got to go in there, though, and I'm going to have to take the live down and edit out that one slide. I can't believe I had fixed it, and I don't know what happened. So I definitely don't want to put somebody's information out there. You know, and I don't even want to take a chance on somebody being able to freeze it and stuff. So what I'll do is I'll take it down and edit that out and repost it once I have that slide edited out. You know, it's kind of been awkward doing this by myself. One thing I do want to go ahead and announce is we are going to not just continue to do the scammer or the scammer education awareness, but we are also going to be adding true crime, but we're going to do that on a separate night. So eventually we will get to where we're doing probably 2 lives a week, one on scammers, one on true crime. And the first case that we are going to be doing is going to be the Summer Wells case because she is local. The family is local. We all have been following this case, and you know, she is a little 5-year-old, 6 years old now. She turned 6, I believe, back in February, but she has been missing now for 11 months. It was 11 months on the 15th of May, and you know, I just want to kind of see what all we know and kind of be able to discuss that with people. So I hope for the true crime people out there, or just people that are interested in the Summer Wells case, I would love to have everybody join us to be able to discuss that. I would like to say that we would do that tomorrow. We are going to be doing it on Wednesdays, but I don't think it's going to be tomorrow because, you know, I really want Amy to be able to be here and to participate with that. So it will probably be next Wednesday when we do start that. So I hope that people will join us and let's have some discussions. Also, if you have a true crime case that you are interested in, please let us know. You can post it in chat or you can email it at thepriceoflovetoday at gmail.com. You can message me if you're on my personal page, message me. And, you know, hopefully we're going, because I really do believe that true crime will tie into the theme also of the price of love today, because the price of love today, a lot of times that is involved in your true crime cases as well. And that is, you know, those relationships that, you know, of love, that it carries a high cost. So anyway, I appreciate everybody that is watching, that watched on the live and that will watch on replay. Anyway, until next week, I'm just going to go ahead and say good night to everybody. Thank you all for being here. Cindy, thank you. See you next week. You all, everybody out there, take care of yourselves. Don't get scammed, as Amy throws in there a lot. Remember the Verito family in your prayers. And everybody have a great night.